What's going on, Gin Pros family? Welcome to the Monday stream. Or this isn't Monday, this is Wednesday.
Wednesday.
What are you talking about? Masters starts tomorrow. Come on now. I got to get my head in the game. And it's crazy. It's been a long week so far. I'm here with the Beeper Man and Mr. Sobolewski. How are we doing, guys? How's everyone feeling? Are we excited for the Masters? How's everyone feeling? I'll start with Mr. Sobolewski first, and we'll go from there.
John, it's great. It's nice to be on with you guys. This is kind of fun. The little pregame beforehand was worth the entrance fee. Wednesday night before the Masters, you got 12 hours, and we're going to tee it up and rock and roll. If you're a golf fan and if you got any of your followers out there that are golfers, this is it. Like I was telling you earlier, it's an exciting time of the year. I don't know. It's the first major. It's spring, Michigan. National championship Monday night. It's the best time of the year.
Very exciting stuff. We're all excited here at Gin Pros, about this Masters starting up, and it's, been less than 5 months since the last Masters. So we got a little bit of a double dip scenario where we can kind of, experience another Masters less than a year from the, last Masters. So it's really exciting stuff. I know I'm really excited about it. Tony is too, I think. I hope. But Mr. Sobolewski, I want to ask you, I've heard through the grapevine.
And you can stop with the Mr. John.
That's right. You told me that earlier.
Call me Mike or whatever you want. I mean, you're not a little kid with Paulie B heading to the gym when you were 9 or 10 years old watching it.
That's right. I remember those days too. Those are some good times right there. I got a lot of free throws in those days. But so I'll call you Sobo. How's that? Call you Sobo. So
that's fair.
I heard through the grapevine that you've made an appearance to a Masters event in the past. Can you speak a little bit more to that and just tell us about that a little bit?
Yeah, I can. I was fortunate in 1997 to when I was in the golf business many moons ago, and I was thinking about it the other day. It's been 23 or 24 years since I went. God bless my cousin if she's out there. I might even have to send her this link, Wendy. Unfortunately had to call me in for backup because she was pregnant with her first. So I went down with her husband and his brother, and the three of us flew into Atlanta and drove over and spent the night in Aiken, South Carolina, about 30 miles away. And we spent all day Tuesday, I believe, at the event, practice round. There's nothing like it, guys. And I tell people this to this day. You can go to all the major events. You can do whatever you want. You can do a Ryder Cup. You can at Oakland Hills, the U.S. Open. I've been to that. Out at New Jersey at Wingfoot, U.S. Open here at Oakland Hills, et cetera, et cetera. But there's just something about Augusta that people just you don't understand. Until you experience it, it's the greatest time, I think, in golf while I was in the industry and in the business. I think one of the top 5 things, obviously, that I've ever done. So golf course wise, I can tell you right now, the television does not give it any justice. I've been glued to the Golf Channel since about 7 a.m. yesterday, with the coverage and stuff. And the hills are very, up and down. Look at number 10 when you're watching tomorrow and the next day. Number 10 is straight down, and that second is like over a ravine almost, but it's straight downhill. There's just some undulation out there that people don't see, and the television doesn't show it. So it's a pretty cool place.
So Sobolewski, let me ask you this, okay? John and I cover a lot of sporting events. We covered the Super Bowl. We've covered, we just covered the national championship game, and there's always magic around that. But there's something different about Augusta and Masters Week, and I can't quite put my finger on it because I've never been there. I don't think John can quite put his finger on it either. So what is it about Masters Week? I mean, because if you look at, is it the course? Is it just, what is, can you put your finger on something that says this is what separates the Masters from any other major that takes place?
So yeah, it's easy. It's called Mystique.
Okay.
It's like Yankee Stadium. It's like the old Tiger Stadium. It's like Joe Louis Arena. It's like old Chicago Stadium. It's very simple. Augusta is Augusta, and the British Opens moved around. The PGA Championships moved around.
Yeah.
And the U.S. Opens moved around.
Yeah.
Guess what's not moved?
The Masters.
All right. So when you win there, you get all those amenities like we all hear about. You get to pick the dinner.
Right.
You have to finish in the top 25, I think, is to qualify for next year. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but I think they went to the top 80 this year. They even took out I think they took 20 players away. I'm not 100% sure on that. I thought I saw something about that. So to me, that's what's different between the other three majors. You're going to Augusta, Georgia, and if you're a winner, you get to do it up and pick your dinner and the whole 9 yards.
So is it almost like to me? So you kind of hinted on a few things. I've been fortunate enough to attend hockey games at the Joe. Never was able to go to Tiger Stadium. I've been a Comerica Park kid. But I think what made the Joe so special, I guess, in my opinion, and I don't want to get too sidetracked, but it just almost had like a simplistic beauty. Like it wasn't like super, like there was nothing about it that jumped at you, but you just knew how much history has been there. And now it's raining outside. My windows are open. I'm sure you guys, I don't know if you guys can hear. Can you guys hear the rain?
Can't hear it.
Oh, there you go. But anyway, so is Augusta similar? Just the simplistic beauty about it. And obviously the history, that goes, that goes with it. So I think, again, I hope John and I one day are able to attend Augusta National and go to the Masters. I hope one day, we're fortunate enough to do that.
Well, and just a real quick sidebar on this, on my experience there. So, when I was in the golf business, I just signed a deal with Club Car, at the Country Club of Detroit in Grosse Pointe. And coincidentally enough, Club Car is based out of Augusta, Georgia. And I asked the guy, I said, hey, is there anything good going on down there for Club Car? And he said, let me get you 3 tickets to go to the big private party, blah, blah, blah. And, the guys I was with, I'll end it this way on the experience. We were the first car parked in the parking lot and the last car to leave that same parking lot. And we decided to not go to the Club Car cocktail party because the golf course is that spectacular, and we walked around it probably 3 or 4 different times.
Well, there you go.
So put that into perspective, and where we parked, I think we walked in, and where we walked in was Amen Corner. So how's
really?
that start your experience?
Wow.
Yeah, it's just it's phenomenal. And you guys probably have seen some of the stuff on social media with the menus and the $1.50 for a pop and $2 for a tuna fish sandwich. The prices never change, and I think that's what just makes the place special.
Right, for sure.
I definitely saw that too. That's super cool.
They don't gouge you. I spent more money in the merchandise tent and having the stuff shipped back home. I spent $350 or $340, $360, of which if you were at the Super Bowl or if you were at the NBA championship, that number is probably going to be closer to 5 or 6.
Oh,
definitely. And that's something that keeps the tradition that much more alive too, by keeping that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's really cool how they've kept that tradition for all these years. It's only gotten better, and people have drawn more attention to the Masters because of that. So it's really interesting. It's really entirely different from any other sporting event that's out there.
And like Tony, like you said, it's more of a mystique. You go to Joe Louis Arena, and the old Joe, there was nothing like it. You go into LCA today, and I think what people need to understand is these venues today, opposite of golf, opposite of golf, are venues. They
Right.
are entertainment operations 365 days out of the year.
Absolutely.
363. The LCA does not care. I mean, they care about the 50 games that the Red Wings are playing, but what are they going to do the other 300 nights?
They care about Taylor Swift. They care
Exactly.
about this and
Yep.
that. I mean, that was even the thing, what I noticed tail end of the Palace. I remember being at the Palace in the early 2000s, and the Palace was where the Pistons played. That was it. Towards the tail end, obviously, their concerts and this and that, and it kind of lost a little bit of its mojo. But you're absolutely right. These events, LCA, the United, I mean, all these places,
it's a venue.
Right. There's an off season for them, and they got to fill those seats in the off season.
And golf's a different game, man.
Absolutely.
100%, guys. Let's talk about the Masters projections for this year's Masters, though. So this is the topic of discussion. Obviously, there's a couple names that are going through circulation. Jordan Spieth being one of them, came off a big win last weekend. And then you got Jon Rahm just gave birth to his kid, Kepa. And then you got Brooks Koepka, coming off of knee surgery. So let me ask you, who are you looking at this week, and who looks good to you?
All right, so look, here's the deal. It's pretty simple in these things, I mean, it's going to be watched, and if you guys see that I'm looking away, I'm looking at another computer here, so I got the list in front of me as well. But it's pretty easy that if you follow golf and you love golf, and if you're willing to maybe jump on one of these apps or whatever, everybody likes favorites. So, look at Dustin Johnson. You look at Justin Thomas. You brought up Jon Rahm. What about DeChambeau? All these guys. So my take on let's just say that those 5 or 6 guys, Dustin Johnson just won there 4 or 5 months ago. He's number 1 in the world. How can you not like him?
Right.
I don't know. I heard he's not. I heard he's either injured or he's just not. He hasn't played a lot. I want you guys to think about how hard it is to win back-to-back. And I heard something on the Golf Channel about that as well.
I was watching that this morning too.
Yep, there's only a few guys who've won back-to-back. Jon Rahm just had a baby. John, you hit on that. That changes you, man. When you have kids, it changes you. Bryson DeChambeau, he was the biggest bust in November. I had him in every one of my pools, and he sunk like a ship. All right, and he just I'm not a big fan of what he's doing to the game of golf either, to be honest with you. He's changing it. We haven't seen a change like this since Tiger Woods. You jump on who else do I got here? I got Webb Simpson. He's going to show in rounding out. You got Patrick Cantlay. I like him a little bit. Number 11, I got Rory McIlroy on my list, and let me tell you, I turned on the Golf Channel this afternoon and I watched him miss 4 3-footers on the putting green. So he went out the window right away. I don't know what it is with Rory, but he's trying to get that green jacket. And I think sometimes he tries too hard. So, moving back up to some of the guys I missed, in the top 10, here's who I like. You got to love Justin Thomas.
Thank you.
I mean, if you're going to take chalk, you're going to take Thomas. I got him in every one of mine. I like him a lot. If you're going to go hard chalk, top 10, top 15 guys. The other guy that I like in the top 10 is the guy that everybody loves to hate. And I think you guys can figure it out. He likes to create commotion and drama.
Oh, what's his name?
Patrick Reed.
Patrick Reed. Yeah.
I like Patrick Reed.
Really? As a top 10 guy, or maybe potentially win,
to win. He's already won in a top 10. He'll be up the board, watch the board, and the one that I do kind of like, but and he just doesn't have enough experience. There's this Morikawa, Colin Marquardt.
That kid's going to be the real deal, though. That kid.
The golf course is firm and fast, is what I'm hearing.
Yep.
Which plays into some of these guys' hand and doesn't. You move down the list, and John, I look at dark horses, the guys that aren't really favorites, but they're fun to watch, and it'd be fun to have them get in a mix. I like Sungjae Im had a nice top 10 finish there in November, and he's young and he's an up and comer. I like, let's see here, Tommy Fleetwood. He's another guy that I like. He's kind of, he's from England, and he's got that rip it and rip it style, but he knows how to control the ball.
Right. Yeah, I like Fleetwood a lot.
You gotta like him. Gary Woodland is a super sleeper. Take a look at his golf swing. He struggled at the Masters. I looked at him, his results and stuff. But he might sneak in there. He's got just one of the best golf swings around. And then another dark horse that I kind of like is Louis Oosthuizen. He's always up on the board.
He's always a top 15 guy, it seems like.
Top 10, top 15. So those are a few names that I kind of like.
Where do you got Sergio?
He can win just because you're 41. The thing that I took away, I caught some of the Golf Channel last night, and they interviewed Phil Mickelson, and don't leave Mickelson out of the mix. He may not win it, but watch him finish maybe in the top 20 if he gets hot.
Yeah.
The one thing Mickelson said last night that really made me think about this tournament and how hard it is to win is this golf course is about experience and playing it multiple times and understanding where to hit the golf ball. And I think that's what cost Bryson DeChambeau November's event. He went in with the attitude that I was going to hit driver 7-iron into a par 5, and that, you just can't do that. It's about where you're going to hit the golf ball and how you're going to putt.
Right.
Justin Thomas is a very, very good putter, and Patrick Reed is a very, very good putter. And those guys are from the South, and they know how to play the golf course.
So Sobolewski, first of all, you should have been on ESPN with that kind of analysis. That was
I wouldn't go that far.
Piece, okay, with what you just brought to the table. Now, obviously, I do watch most majors and most tournaments. I am not nearly as glued to the TV as you are when it comes to the golf game. But let me tell you this. I got two people who I'm looking to, put a little bit of coin on, sprinkle a little bit of dough on there. One is Justin Thomas. I think after the whole him losing all of his sponsors for the, insensitive, comment that he made, I think he's really trying to, pull himself out of that. And I think this is his first opportunity to really do so. So look for Justin Thomas, in my opinion, to make a really strong push to win this thing. Now, Sobolewski, there's a guy on there that I was hoping you were going to say was going to be your dark horse, and you didn't.
I know who it is. I know it's got to be one or two guys.
You don't know. I don't think you know who it is.
Rory McIlroy.
No.
Brooks?
Nope. Here's who it is. And the reason I'm saying this is because I've won money on this individual before.
Oh,
Max Homa.
Wow.
Look at my man.
They talked about him on the Golf Channel today. He doesn't have the experience, Tony.
I know. Listen, here's the thing. He's almost too stupid to know what's going on. Okay, he's almost too dumb to know what's going on. Look for Max Homa. If it's after the first round and he's anywhere within the top 25, okay, I'm going to live bet him.
I'm going to make you a bet right now.
Okay.
You can't refuse.
Okay.
Johnny, write this down somewhere.
Okay. Let's do it.
Tony, if he makes the top 20, I'll buy you 3 Budweisers down at Johnny's Poorhouse.
Okay. Now, what happens if he doesn't make top 20? What do I owe you? Do I owe you 3
buy me a dinner at Signature.
Okay. Lock it, John. Lock it in. Lock it in. If Homa finishes top 20, I'm getting 3 Bud Heavies. If he finishes outside of the top 20, I'm buying Sobolewski a ribeye.
I got it written
Better
down.
yet, Tony. Better yet. Let's change that bet, John. I'll bet you a round of golf down at the Valley.
Okay, let's go.
There
I
you
love
go.
it. I love it.
All right.
Is that
Max
both?
Homa will not make the top 20.
He might win the thing, Sobleski. He might win it.
What's his odds right now? 300.
You can
300
lock
to
him
1.
in at plus 12,500, I think is what you can lock him in at.
I mean, that sounds like an automatic lock to me.
I mean, why wouldn't you throw $100 on the guy?
But going back, the two guys I do want to touch on for you guys is Rory and Brooks. You know, Brooks just had knee surgery.
Yeah.
And they showed him today, and everybody says it's okay, but let's face it, this guy's an animal when it comes to swinging a golf club. And we saw what damage it did to Tiger Woods in his knees. So we'll see how Brooks fares, through round 1 and round 2.
Yeah.
If he makes the cut and he's 2 or 3 under and he's 3 or 4 back or whatever, then yeah, maybe he's got a shot. Maybe he took a couple painkillers and the knee's not that bad.
For sure.
The guy is a machine. And he's a machine when it comes to major championships. If you saw that stat, he's like, what is he? Finished top 15 in the last, top 15 in the last 8 majors or something like that. He won 3 in a row, for God's sakes.
Right.
And then the other guy's Rory. He's struggling for some reason. He just cannot get over the hump.
Well, here's what I think it is with Rory, and I'll let Bink touch on this a little bit. I mean, you hear in baseball all the time, you have the yips, right? It's something in your head that is mentally not allowing you to do it. I think Rory's going through because listen, he's a damn good golfer. I mean, nobody can take that away from. Listen, he can swing the sticks, up there with anybody. But golly, Sobleski, he has not gotten it done lately. And with Brooks, here's my issue with Brooksy, okay? Because I'm a big Koepka fan, all right? He's coming off the knee surgery, and number 2, he just got engaged. So I don't know where he's at mentally going into this round. I mean, newly engaged guy. I mean,
hey, look out your window and walk down to the Flint River. That's where he's at.
Yeah, his head's in the river is where it's at.
It'll be hard for him. It's a change, and I don't know. We'll see.
So, all right, we got a question. Got a comment. We got to address it real quick, and then I'll get to that. It's from Dark Sage 9117 from Twitch. I am partial to old timers.
Twitch? Bryce, I'm working on a flip phone.
He's on a flip phone, ladies and gentlemen.
A party line.
That's all right. It's just a streaming service. It's a different outlet that we stream the stream to. So here, I am partial to the old timers who play in the Masters because of what they represent to the sport and how they laid the groundwork for golfers of today. However, I do realize some of them are way past their primes and only play the Masters because of a lifetime exemption. My question is, should players like Bernard Langer, Sandy Lyle, Nick Faldo, and others still play the Masters, or should there be an age limit on how long they can play? So I'll let you answer that one.
What, are you afraid? Because Sandy Lyle's old enough to be your grandfather?
Yeah, I mean, listen. Here's the thing.
Here's the deal.
Play.
These guys. This kind of to me, this is a great question. First of all, second of all, yeah, they should be able to play because they have won the event, and it leads back into what we talked about at the top. Okay, that's what makes the Masters special. Is when Jack Nicklaus rolls in his car, and at 46 years old, he won in 1986 when I was a senior in high school. So I didn't age myself. But that's why that's what makes the Masters the Masters. Now, if Jack says, "Hey, look," or Sandy Lyle says, "Hey, look, I'm done. I can't even hit. I'll hit one ball and that'll be it." Then that's his decision. But Bernard Langer, wasn't he like top 15 or in the mix last?
No, it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, a couple of years ago. And he's like 62.
See, I mean, here's my take on it. And again, it's
great question. I like it.
Sobleski, you nailed it. It's what we talked about in the beginning. It all comes down to what makes the Masters the Masters. And every single year, you have Jack, you have you have all the guys there. Okay, obviously the par 3 and all this stuff that goes on, but listen, you let the guys play. I mean, I don't think it's taking anyone's spot away that we would rather see or that maybe deserves it more, I guess.
And for the most part, you know, I forget what they call them. They don't even. They're not even part of the field to a certain extent. I mean, some of those guys don't even play. They just play 9 holes or whatever. But you know, that's a great question. But that's what makes the Masters the Masters.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, I agree. I think they all deserve to be there. I think they paid their dues. They're still playing the sport. They're still healthy enough to swing the sticks, and they deserve every bit of it to be there. Even if they know, I mean, they got a good chance they're not going to win. They're playing from, I don't think they have senior tees at the Masters, so they got to be hitting from the same spot that a Bryson DeChambeau is hitting from, probably out driving them by 150, 200 yards sometimes.
Yeah,
but it's just all about having them there and having them be a part of it. So he's got another question. I would also ask, should they open the Masters to Champions Tours guys as well? I think that at that point you're kind of stretching it.
Wait a minute. What about Freddie?
Freddie Couples?
Freddie, Freddie's in there.
What about
But I think he won a Masters, didn't he?
Freddie did, yeah. Yeah, Freddie and Phil did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're both playing the Masters, aren't they?
Bernard Langer won one.
I mean, to me, listen. I mean, should they open the Masters to the Champion Tour guys as well? I mean, I guess maybe. About his picture in the locker room. Listen, Jeff. Okay,
you're just telling us about that.
Sobolewski, you were just telling us about this picture.
It was fun.
You were slamming Bud Heavies in the locker room with Darren McCarty.
No, I don't think I was going that deep, but. It was a fun time. That was another good time. Jeff's seen that picture a couple hundred times too. I think Jeff wishes he was in that picture.
Sobolewski, let me ask you this: when is the official Gin Pod or Gin Pros either podcast or live stream going to be shot in the most legendary basement in probably all of Michigan?
I don't think it's that legendary. It's not that legendary, and the only problem is I gotta keep a fence up to keep Jeff Morgan out of it because you know what, he bleeds, right, Johnny?
Yep, blue and yellow, or maize and blue.
You know what kind of hell I go through every day?
Oh, I couldn't imagine.
Ask your mom and dad, John.
Oh man, I'm sure they could tell me some stories, but I know you guys have that bet every year though, where you gotta, whoever wins, they have to mow the other person's lawn, right? Is that still in effect?
Jeff cut the grass for 10 years straight. It was beautiful.
Wow.
Wait, what's the bet? Wait, hold on. What's the secret bet?
Michigan State.
Football?
Basketball.
Oh, hoop. Okay. All right.
Football, basketball, hockey, baseball, chess.
Yeah.
Whatever's on that night.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Good stuff. That's good stuff. All right, guys. I guess we could wrap it up there. Is there anything else anybody wants to say before we sign off here?
Well, listen, let me just say this really quick. Obviously, Masters Week, huge week for us here at Gym Pros because, listen, we're big golf guys. We have a huge golf tournament ourselves, big charity event coming up the 19th of June, the Corona Challenge. We've already got teams and the roster's filling up quick, guys. Sobolewski's going to be golf. Now, listen. Sobolewski, hold on. Let me ask you this.
I can't reveal anything.
Let me ask you this, though. If you and Paulie would have golfed an entire 18, do you think you would have been putting the jacket on when it was all said and done?
Fire department would still be there.
I mean, you guys were.
Flushing fire department would still be putting out the fire.
You guys were dropping bombs out there.
The backline on fire.
I mean,
if I'm in the Corona Challenge this year and I'm coming in with Paul Binkowski, I would be worried if I were the other 35 teams.
Wow. Shots have been fired right now on the official Gin Pros live stream. You're right here first.
And folks. You know what? We'll be waiting patiently.
Absolutely. So anyways, guys, Corona Challenge is coming up here shortly. Get your teams in, get registered because we don't want to be the bad guys and turn you away. Other than that, my closing is always moderations for cowards. Always bet the over, never bet the under. Sobolewski, thank you so much for taking.
I had fun with you guys, man.
Yeah, thanks, Sobo.
I had fun watching the golf tournament, and I'm sure we'll be in touch. And you guys are doing a nice job, and I enjoyed it. And hopefully, Johnny, you wrote down a couple of these, and we'll see where they fall in terms of what I think and what happens. And who the hell knows? Tony Bryan might show up tomorrow morning and tee it up and win the thing by 4 or 5 shots.
I mean, you never know, baby. Come on now.
I wrote every single one of them down, so I'll be following him.
He might catch that private jet out of Flint Bishop.
Yeah. Jeez, I wonder what the odds are on that one. I don't want to know.
No, thanks, guys. I had fun, man.
Yeah, thanks again, Sobo, Tony. Thank you, guys. I'll leave it there. Have a great night, everyone, and make sure to get signed up for the Corona Challenge, and we'll talk to you guys soon.